next guest, the lead singer of Imagination. Hello, Leee John.
Hello, good morning. I should say good afternoon, or happy lunchtime, I should say.
How are you?
I'm very, very, very well. Very well. Been very, very busy.
Because, well, actually, you're celebrating 30 years of Imagination. So how is everything going? Have you got big plans, big upcoming tours and stuff?
Yes, I do. I'm doing a 30-year anniversary, which is going to be February the 26th at the Leicester Square Theatre in Leicester Square. We're celebrating 30 years of Imagination. It's gone so fast, but I'll be doing 30 years anniversary tours over Great Britain and Europe. And if someone's trying to get through to me on my other phone, it's hysterical. Yeah, it's going to be quite a big celebration this year. I'm singing all the songs that people know, like Body Talk, Just an Illusion, Music and Lies, Flashback, In and Out of Love, Thank You, My Love. And if there's any song I don't sing in my shows, then, shout them out and I'll sing them for you.
Now, the band, I was just reading about it. The band's had 9 top 40 singles, and maybe your best one is Just an Illusion. And you told me, just before we went on air, you actually wrote that yourself.
Well, all the songs I was a writer on, really. The very first song, Body Talk, I actually remember very well because I wrote it on my mother's kitchen table in Hornsey. I'm from North London. And, it's interesting because as another anniversary, when that came out, it came out in, I think, January of 1981 and stayed in the charts for like 44 weeks, and it entered the chart in May. And ironically, yesterday I got some news because I'm part of another outfit. I'm doing a lot of different things, and I'm part of a group called Retrospect. It's like a production team. And I'm featured with J2K, Skibbity. J2K is with the band Roll Deep. And we've got a track called Raver. And yesterday, the good news is we've just entered the Music Week Urban Chart at number 20. So it's a great way to start January and my anniversary here.
That is great news. So Roll Deep, one of the biggest kind of acts at the moment, had numerous number ones as well. So how did you find working with someone from Roll Deep, the upcoming music?
Well, it's interesting because it's a very UK sounding sort of track, and I'm just adding a little bit of, and I co-wrote it as well with producers Ross Emmons and Jeff Ginsberg, it's interesting because it's coming from like what people would say an urban vibe. It's kind of similar to where we first started, back in the early 80s. I came from a very club scene, if you could say, and where Roll Deep are, they've kind of taken on that kind of tradition, that they're doing it through their emceeing, and it's just a street way of approaching music, that with the raps and stuff like that. It's a different sort of vibe to, say, a New York rapper or, say, a European rapper. It's like a different language. You kind of like adapt yourself to what they're getting into. But music and musical styles are always very varied. So, I mean, I'm very eclectic with my tastes and the kind of music I'm into. So, I think if it's cool, I get into it. And the combination of me from the 20th century and them from the 21st century works in a great deal, And the track's got various different mixes. We're going to probably have a main mix out very, very soon with the vocal, because there's a mix. It's like a part 1, part 2 record. They start the beginning of it. I'm in the chorus. And then in part 2, I kind of take over. So what it is, I've done a new vocal, which kind of extends into another area. You can do so much now with tracks. And so the club scene, we've got a drum and bass mix by Lynx, and we've got a what's it called, dubstep mix with DJ Seed, who's been playing it a lot on YouTube and stuff. So being current is great again.
And, what a 30 years Imagination has had, because I was reading yesterday, the group Imagination has earned 4 platinum discs, 9 gold discs, and over a dozen silver. So how does that feel for you, earning such, big awards like that?
Well, at the time, especially in the early days, we were working so hard. that you never got time to really reflect. It was only until much later, and even now, you know, I'm in my office while I'm speaking to you, and I've got some of the discs on the wall. I used to just give them to my mom and to my grandmother and family members and donate them to charity and stuff. It's a great honor when your peers and I always feel that it's the audiences that make you, you know, whatever you do and whatever people appreciate from you. And it's the people that buy your music, who support you. They're the ones that count. It's not really down to agents and managements and all that. It's down to the audience. They're the ones that love you and keep you going. I've got a huge fan base on the internet. You know, my website, www.leejohn.com, and that's with 3 E's. You know, all the Imagination fans have been flocking to that via Facebook. And, you know, I can get in contact with the fans and write back to them a lot easier than I could years ago. And I think every gold or silver or platinum disc that I've earned has been because of the fans who have actually supported my career throughout the 80s, the 90s, and even now.
And there's one thing I actually did want to ask you. Is it true you made a guest appearance in a Doctor Who episode?
Yes, it is, actually.
Wow.
Last November, they put out a special DVD box set because it was the making of it. My episode was called Enlightenment, and it had Peter Davidson, who was the Doctor, along with Linda Barron, who was in Open All Hours.
Yeah.
And she was really, really cool. And, I played the part of Mansell. And my character was an Eternal. I was like a space pirate. And it was quite funny because people thought, you know, with Imagination, we had such great, outrageous outfits. And one review said, oh, Lee doesn't have to change his outfit. He can go straight off the stage and go onto the Doctor Who set without any problem. That was my review of my performance. But it was great. It's fun to be part of, well, it's actually an honor to be a part of, television history, you know, being in Doctor Who.
Oh, Lee, thank you for speaking to us. And just to ask one quick question, will there be an upcoming album from you now, like an album celebrating the work you've done?
Yes, there will. We should have a greatest hits package where we're trying to orchestrate that together. We've got some new tracks on there. We're just trying to get it together, hopefully for the summer or something like that. We should have that. I have been touring a lot with my jazz quartet. I had a jazz album out, which when you go to my website, you can see, called Feel My Soul. So that was a really last thing that I had out in the last couple of years, and did extremely well in Europe and also in America, especially in the smooth jazz chart. So I think it's time for me now to revisit the past, bring it into the future with all the Imagination hits. So we'll definitely have something out for all the Imagination fans this year.
Lee, thank you very much for speaking to us today. We're going to play Just an Illusion, which is one of my most favourite songs as well. And
thank you, Lewis.
Good luck with the other projects you're going to be doing.
Thank you. All the best. And hope to see everybody down at the Leicester Square Theatre, 26th of February. Get your tickets, Leicester Square Theatre box office.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.